Hopefully you guys can see me okay. It's been a while since I left you without a dope beat to step to. So, I realized I did not finish making my videos for my eating disorder program, and there was a rationale and a reason to it, but now I'm going to hop back on the internet. I'm in the middle of filming vlogs, and I had said in the vlog I'm filming now, and I'm like, I actually have not finished these videos. So I did continue with the program for weeks 3, 4, and 5. And ultimately I stopped doing the program. 1 was just a timing thing. And 2, I felt like weeks 3, 4, and 5, I didn't really get anything out of it. And the concerns that I started to have just like progressively got worse. And so before I make this video, I want to caveat and say, like, these programs can be highly successful for people. And so when I decided to vlog my experience, I thought it was important, just because I don't mind being open about these types of things, that it can be hard for a lot of people to be open about, like, me being a woman and a woman of color, like what that's been like for me. When I was looking on the internet and deciding to do these programs, I didn't really see content from Black people in general. And so I thought maybe I could, add something to the conversation. So again, this is one person talking about their experience, and I do have 2 other videos on this, so I would take a look, especially now that I'm sharing that I didn't get a lot out of the last couple of weeks. What I got out of it will be in weeks 1 and 2. My perspective on it is this video. So yeah, like I said, towards the end, I wasn't really getting much out of it. And I believe in those other 2 videos, I did express the types of concerns that I was having. So I don't want to talk about those too much on here, just for the sake of the length of the video. But week 3, I could only make 1 day, I believe, that week. And so I didn't really know what to share in terms of a video. So no, I could make 2 days, and I chose not to go 1 day. And I told the group therapist the following week why I didn't go. And at that point I was really frustrated with how things were going. We're in quarantine times right now. And so that was the last week, I believe, that we were still meeting in the office. We might have met the following week. No, we did meet the following week. Sorry. I'm trying to remember the things as they happen. So, I could make Tuesday, I believe, and then I didn't go on Thursday. And I was like walking to the center on Thursday, and I got the food. I like went past it. There were 2 locations for the restaurant I wanted to go to, and I went past the one that was near the center, and I kept going to the other one, and then hopped on the train and went back home. And the reason I did that was because the group therapist and the nutritionist had switched days. Usually the nutritionist came on Wednesday, and they had switched days, and I just didn't want to deal with one being around her and the concerns that I had from that were just continuing to go on with when I was asking questions around the exchange system they have. I couldn't get a straight answer in terms of like what the units meant, and just inflexibility around like me having weight loss surgery and some of the concerns that I have. And I know my therapist says I try to therapy myself, but I'm also a huge proponent of advocating for yourself in any situation, particularly those that pertain to your mental health, and that includes therapy and eating disorder programs. I wasn't raised to just take whatever anyone says at, face value all the time. I'm not constantly like arguing and bickering with people, but I realize that if I'm in a vulnerable and fragile state, I need to like make sure that I am present with myself for myself. And so she and I we weren't getting along the first couple of times I tried to meet with her. And then when I asked her to follow up on stuff, she didn't, and I didn't want to deal with it. And the other component was that I just wanted to enjoy a meal that I was looking forward to, like straight up. I just wanted to enjoy a meal and not have someone standing over me, critiquing it and forcing me to eat more if I hadn't, because I knew the meal that I was getting was pretty heavy and I wasn't going to be able, from just a sheer volume perspective, eat a lot of it. Let me turn my camera. The TV is on. Nothing's playing, but I don't want to deal with that. So yeah, I don't want to deal with it. And I told the group therapist that the following week, and she said that, that's that's totally fair, and that's how I felt, then it was better just to take a break. And the last 2 weeks I was a part of the program, we had new people join. I'm trying to think. The group sessions, I wasn't necessarily getting too much out of them. And part of that was, I think, my own self-awareness. I binge eat. And I realized that that program is really designed for people that undereat. So I didn't ever feel comfortable talking about my overeating experiences in front of people that didn't eat enough. And I expressed it. Everything I'm sharing with you, I had expressed to the therapist. And I just didn't feel comfortable having that self-awareness, how that might make other people feel. And that gets tricky when you do those types of programs, because you need to get a lot out of it in order for you to make the changes that you need to make. But you also don't want to trigger other people. So talking about how I feel when I've just eaten a ton of food can make someone else feel really uncomfortable and trigger them, especially if they're struggling to eat a lot. Whatever they're consuming, be that small amount of food or, throwing it up later, might make them really uncomfortable. So I didn't feel comfortable talking about my stuff. But at the same time, the other people in the group weren't in a place, I'll say, where they were doing that work to not be in the program anymore. And this is the third program that I've had to do, intensive therapy programs that I've had to do. And my thing has always been I don't want to be here for that long. I'm struggling with something. I'm going to put in the work and move on. What is the plan? So that was the attitude that I had. And I had shared that, in terms of just stopping it, stopping the binging, and some sort of switch went off in my head, the program was really effective for that. And just other changes that I've still continued today, it was helpful. And there were times when I was feeling emotional and I didn't binge eat. And I started to experience those changes within the first 2 weeks, the first week even. And I recognized that, I could take it from there. That doesn't mean that, my eating's been perfect. My grandmother recently passed. I don't know how many pieces I ate when I first got back and before I left, that's life. But if I feel I can be more in control of what I'm doing, and be able to effectively make changes and see the effect that they have on me, that continuing to be a part of a program that doesn't work with my lifestyle. And these programs are designed to pull you out of your lifestyle. And, I just didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted to be able to work within the constraints of my daily schedule and environment. And mind you, I work full time and I'm in school part time. So to take almost 3 hours every day for something that wasn't serving me, I could no longer really continue to do. And I knew at some point I was going to have to stop the program pretty soon. So I had a really bad experience with the nutritionist towards the end of the program. And after that, I told my therapist, I will continue this until I find an alternative. I was actually going to find another therapist that specialized with eating disorders, because my therapist low-key recommended it and then changed her mind. I might be looking for a new therapist anyways, but I was I don't have, in one session, I don't have enough time to talk to you about everything, let alone my eating disorder stuff. So I would like to have those conversations with someone else. She's well, it's all interconnected, and I don't disagree with her, but there's specific things related to eating disorders that I can't cover with her. And so we went back and forth on that, but I was you know what? I'm not going to stop the program until I find an alternative. So anyway, my incident was that I went to Pret a Manger. It's a chain. You can look it up. It starts with Pret, Pret. And I got a sandwich and like a croissant or something. And when I looked at it, I knew that that was a significant amount of food for me because I did have weight loss surgery almost 2 years ago at this point. It's over 2 years, probably somewhere between 2.5, 3 years ago. Now 2 years. I don't remember. Oh, yeah, 2.5, almost 3 years. And I like went to my session. It was just me and the nutritionist. So, I wasn't looking forward to it if you've gathered that much by now so far. And she like looked at, so they assess your meal before you eat. Because in their mind, they're already calculating the number of exchanges you might need to eat. If you eat part of it, all of it, you still might have to eat more. And so she was like, I might ask you to eat more. And I was like, I haven't even started yet. So I got about halfway through the sandwich and I got the croissant to like take it home and enjoy it and eat it later. And long story short, she basically was trying to force me to eat more. And we went back and forth about it. And I told her, I was like, I feel like you're violating me. This is very gross and disgusting. I wanted to sit here and have a meal that I enjoy. And this is not healthy for me. You didn't ask me the other things that I've eaten today. I'm literally not going to eat more food. Mind you, I'm crying while I'm saying all this. Like, I'm not going to eat more food. Like, you're making me feel gross about myself. And like, that's unacceptable. So she kind of let it go. And then I talked to the group therapist about it. And I just kept saying, like, this program is reinforcing bad habits that I'm trying to break. Like, I might go home and still eat. And the group therapist knows that I go home and I have another meal of some sort because I take a lot of medication at night. And I'm not going to sit here and feel violated for this nutritionist that doesn't answer my questions when I ask her about the system that they have, because she was telling me how much more I need to eat. And I was like, well, she came over and like looked at my food and I was like, well, you need to explain to me why I have to eat more when I'm telling you I'm full. And I was like, I have been honest throughout this program when I had missed meals because like work when we were in the office is crazy and I don't always eat breakfast and blah, blah, blah. And I'm back to back. Can't always eat during my meetings. And I was like, I've been honest with you, so I don't know like why the heck you're doing this to me right now. And I think after that I was like, all right, I need to be done with this. And when I was going through like weeks 3 and 4, I was like, I don't really know if I'm gonna hop on the internet and talk about this. I think the thing with the nutritionist, yes, there's something to be said, but because there aren't a lot of people of color vocalizing their experiences about these programs, I wanted to be mindful of not getting on here and being like, oh, this is bad, this is terrible, because that wasn't 100% the case. There are things that I got out of it that still serve me today. I just want to be mindful of the story that I share, not taking anything out and not adding anything in, but there just aren't a lot of narratives around this. And so I want to share my story in a way that is going to come off the way that I would like for it to. And I just didn't feel like, filming weeks 3 and 4 were going to do anything. But then I started to feel bad because I did start this process. I have gotten a couple comments on videos, and so I didn't want to leave people hanging. So I did start to feel guilty. Not guilty enough to film when I probably should have, but I did feel guilty. So then week 5 came, and at this point we were doing this in a virtual environment because of quarantine, and that was super weird. I was prepared if I needed to do the exchanges because I just had a whole bunch of stuff in my apartment, but yeah, I mean, we used like a Skype tool basically. And so we couldn't like hold our food up to the camera. We had to like turn the camera down so they could see the food on the table. And it was just weird eating over Skype. We did have 2 people join that week. And those conversations were more productive. I definitely felt better with one of the 2 people. The other person I just didn't like. And towards the end, she like made a xenophobic comment. And I was just like, I don't. And the therapist didn't check her. And I'm just like, okay. So within that week, I believe I only did it virtually for 1 week. they were moving to an online, they were getting rid of the evening program and moving it to morning, which was from like 8:30 to 10. And I knew I couldn't make that time. So the therapist and I were playing phone tag for a week, pretty much. I believe I'm getting the timeline right. And I just stopped trying to call her after a bit of time. And so now I'm done with the program. It's been about a month at this point since I've been done with it, pretty much. And I don't regret stopping. I wish I could have talked to, and I could call her, but I wish I had kind of wrapped things up a little bit more formally with the therapist, because I did like her. When she and I had one-on-one conversations, and I did get access to like one-on-one groups, one-on-one therapy conversations. I enjoyed talking to her, and I got a lot out of those. And then the other thing that I did not like towards the end, and again, no one could give me a straight answer, was for insurance purposes, they take your weight. And so they hadn't done it when like for the first however many weeks I've been a part of the program. And so they had this thing of like, somebody else needs to take your weight and then send it in. I was like, well, I live alone. And also I'm not going to lie about how much I weigh. It's just not worth it. And I also take lithium, and that more often than not causes weight gain. So, and I knew I had gained decent amount of weight on lithium, but I also knew I was still binge eating. So I couldn't be like, oh, it was all the lithium, but lithium has definitely played a part. So I expressed this to the group therapist, and I was like, look, I need to understand what that means for insurance purposes, because I am on a medication that more often than not causes weight gain. And if I am accepted into the program, given that I binge eat and I'm continuing to gain weight, I don't want these sessions to start being denied by insurance, which is a very reasonable thing to express. And I couldn't get a straight answer as to why they were taking my weight and if it was going to be a problem for insurance. And I just didn't want to put up with it anymore. So that is weeks 3, 4, 5, and why I stopped. All wrapped up in one. I do feel better making this video and now going to put it on the internet. And I do think it was the right call to not film weeks 3, 4, and 5 in real time. And there's also just like timing constraints of me doing 800 things. I didn't care enough about it at that point in time to sit down and make 3 separate videos. Well, technically it would be 4, because I would have done one as to why I was stopping. But I think the narrative around weeks 3, 4, and 5 fit more cleanly together, and I can share it from this perspective. But I did want to hop on here and say, like, 1, these programs can be highly effective, but 2, like, you also have to own your own path, journey, narrative, story, all those fun words. And just recognize that, like, it's okay if things don't work sometimes. That doesn't mean you're a failure, and that doesn't mean the program's a failure. It just means that sometimes stuff doesn't work. But I have made a ton of great progress. One of the things I said in the program that I was going to try was like doing HelloFresh and trying to just add some variety to my diet. And so I've been doing really well doing those things. The one thing that the program never talked about was like exercise, which I find vitally important. And I think that might have been just because sometimes people can get addicted to exercise and use that as a way to not like eat properly or like lose weight, I should say, in an unhealthy way. So, my back is kind of okay enough now that I can do some things. I did yoga this morning and completely just like snapped my wrist. So I had to stop after like 3 minutes. I was bummed because I really wanted to finish the class, but I like messed up my wrist. So yeah, I mean, if people have questions, I'm more than happy to answer them, human beings from the internet. But I know I made the right choice for me, but I just wanted to acknowledge that I needed to like wrap this up. So yeah, I'm still filming some other content. I want to do things other than vlogs, but I will be doing something like that soon. But there's probably like 8 vlogs surrounding this video. This video is like going to be nestled in between the vlogs. But yeah, if people have questions, feel free to chat me, and you can comment them down below, or you can DM me on Instagram. I'm sure that information's down below. But yeah, I don't want this video to be over 20 minutes. So I will stop here. Say thank you for watching. Please, if you're interested in these programs, try them, and only from experience can you say whether or not something's working for you. But please don't be afraid to give these programs a shot. So, all right, that is it, guys, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.